Hey guys, it's Billy here at Riverbend Records coming at you today with a new video. We're going to talk about the new Van Halen 2, the collection box set, the Sammy Hagar era albums. Of course, you got 5150, OU812, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, Balance, and then a new Rarities and studio outtakes bonus disc, so to speak. So let's jump right in. I'll show you the vinyl box here. This is really nice. Comes with a nice little hype sticker. Studio Rarities is what the other one was. 5 LPs, the 5150, OU812, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, Balance, and then the Studio Rarities, 1989 to 2004. Housed in a real nice box. This is actually printed on the back. Super nice. It's not just a paper or cardboard insert glued on. It's actually printed on the back. Of course, all your albums are housed here. Nice, thick, heavy-duty jackets. What we will be discussing today is an actual A-B comparison between the original vinyl that I have and this new Bernie Grundman remaster. I did read somewhere online, of course, through various different message boards and posts, and even a video here on YouTube where there are people claiming that this is a remix. I don't believe that at all to be the case. I think it's just a remaster. When you remaster certain things and the EQ is changed, certain instruments set in that soundstage, and based on how you change the EQ will make a certain instrument come forward or sound like it's coming forward in the mix versus being set back or vice versa. So I don't believe this is a remix and remaster. I believe it's strictly just a remaster. Of course, it was overseen by, it's remastered by the great Bernie Grundman, of course, but overseen by Van Halen's longtime studio engineer, Don Landy. So yes, we will be comparing the vinyl version. There is a CD version available as well. So let's jump right into it and show you what we're getting in the box here. Of course, the first album here, 5150. All housed with nice inner sleeves that kind of match the original, all on 180 gram vinyl, and I believe they have custom center labels that are new. These are not like the original custom center labels. Here is OU812. Again, really nice packaging on this. The packaging is stellar, top notch. Here is the original paper inner. The one thing I will say about these that I was not really really happy with is the paper inners, the no polyliners. Make these inserts. You know, if you want to reproduce the original inners with the lyric sheets, make those inserts as opposed to just a paper inner. And because these things were loaded with static whenever I got them. I mean, these have already been cleaned, ultrasonically cleaned and rehoused in MoFi type polyline inner sleeves. So they've already been ultrasonically cleaned before I did the before I ever really give them a listen. Here is For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. Here again, another great album. This thing is getting so hard to find. Here is your inner sleeve, and I just won't spend too much time on all this, but a really great inner sleeve. Tons of pictures of the guys in the studio for this session. Always loved this one here. Great shot of them all around the microphone, screaming and hollering there. And then, of course, here's your center label on that one. One thing, minor seam split here. That seems to be the case with a lot of these 180 gram records. That one and there was only two. 5150, or not 5150, OU812. Just the most minor of seam splits there. I'm not gonna worry about it that much, honestly. It is what it is. But I wish they would fix that. Maybe ship the one way to ship to fix that or correct it is to or minimize it at least is to ship the records outside of the jackets. That's how we do it. That's how any. I know it would probably take them a little bit more to do that, but some people like I think Nuclear Blast is actually shipping all their stuff outside of the jackets. But it's neither here nor there. Let's move on. Balance. And here is the lyrics on the inner sleeve and the inner sleeve there with the guys. Again, I believe it's got the same center label. Yeah, they'll have the Warner Records center label. And then here is the kind of the thing that got a lot of people excited about this is the studio Rarities from '89 to 2004. Of course, the only real new track on here. Gosh, I don't even remember Crossing Over. But a lot of these were available on CD already, or like the Twister soundtrack. But you're getting a Political Blues, a great Little Feat cover there. I'm not even going to try and attempt to butcher this one right here. Crossing Over, Respect the Wind, Humans Being, It's About Time, Up for Breakfast, and Learning to See. Of course, there's the back. Here is, there is no, this is the only one that came in a poly-lined inner sleeve, but I still went ahead and replaced it. Nice custom center label on that one. Of course, it's upside down, but you'll see. There you go. Nice custom center label on that one. I did, again, go ahead and clean that one anyway, ultrasonically clean it, even though it came in a poly-lined inner sleeve. I still always ultrasonically clean all of the records and then put them in new inner sleeves. And what we are comparing them with, just so you know, just for so we're clear, we've got an original 5150 here. These are all US pressings and super clean. OU812, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, and Balance from '95. These are, any of this Sammy Hagar era stuff is obviously really extremely hard to find, especially the last two. Not only hard to find, they're starting to get super expensive. But to be clear, 100% clarity, I am not an audiophile. I have a meager system. I would say that what I listen to my stuff on is maybe just a little bit better than what most people listen to their stuff on. However, it is not considered audiophile by any means. It's just for the, I do own a record store, so I have nice gear. I do enjoy listening to music, so I have nice upgraded gear at the house. However, most people that are listening to records aren't listening to them on $20,000 systems or huge, even $200,000 systems. You guys know that the sky's the limit when it comes to audiophile gear and systems. Just to be clear, though, be upfront, 100% transparency. I am not listening to this on an audiophile system. It's basically what you would be listening to at your house, maybe just a little bit better. With that being said, let's jump in and start the A-B comparisons. I started out with 5150. Let's begin at the beginning. I received my Van Halen box sets at the shop here on Tuesday, and I spent Tuesday night through Thursday night kind of really going through just a couple hours, because I'm here till 7 o'clock, so I spent a couple hours each night going through those 4 studio albums over the course of a few nights. I compared all 4 of the original studio albums with original clean US pressings just to see if there was a difference in sound and mastering and which one I preferred. And again, this is just my preference, but I hope you guys appreciate the time I put in, and I want you guys to know, if you're considering buying this new box set, what you're really going to get. So let's get back into it here with the first album, 5150. If I'm being 100% honest, guys, I preferred the mastering on my original, on that one. It's cut just a little bit hotter. The EQ is brighter. It has a little bit more bite, which also helps roll off some of the low end on Mikey and Alex's drums. Don't get me wrong, they still have punch, but they aren't muddy in the slightest. The new Bernie Grundman mix in this box set is, it's first of all, it's cut just a tad quieter, which is not that big of a deal. Louder isn't always better. I turned it up just about 10% to match the volume level on the original, and it was sitting in the pocket nicely. The EQ on the Bernie Grundman, or I'll call him BG Master from here on out, Bernie Grundman, BG Master, it's typical for kind of how he does things. It's nice, warm, rich tone, pleasant enough to listen to, and I will say that Alex's drums and Eddie's guitar seem to be the stars of this new remaster of 5150, which again, that's no surprise. Also, my choices on which version sounded better, and better is relative. It's very subjective. This is my opinion. But which version sounded better varied from song to song. And I think that's why a lot of people, when they're listening to the CDs or even maybe the vinyl, the reviews that I have seen so far that maybe hint around that it could be remixed, is because they do vary from song to song. I think they didn't set the mastering and leave it for the whole album. I think they tweaked and changed things from song to song, which is great, because I preferred the rockers like Good Enough and Get Up on the OG, but I tend to lean more towards the ballad or softer songs like Summer Nights, Dreams, and Love Walks In on the new Bernie Grundman master. By the way, Mikey's bass is amazing on the new version, the new master of Summer Nights. It is fantastic. Overall, you know, I'm probably being far too nitpicky, but I really wanted to be thorough in this. I'd still give this new Bernie Grundman remaster of 5150 a solid B versus the grade of an A on the original. So the winner of 5150 by a smidge is the original here. All right, so now let's jump into OU812 as far as my A-B comparison is concerned. As far as it's concerned with the OU812, it's pretty simple. The OG, again, here, for my comparison, it's a US, really clean US pressing. The OG is nice, and again, the EQ is slightly brighter. However, there really wasn't a volume difference between the OG and the original US pressing and the new Bernie Grundman remaster. It pretty much was right on. As much as I went into this album, Shootout, thinking that I was going to prefer the OG once again, kind of in a strange turn of events, the new Bernie Grundman master comes out on top with this one, and there's no clearer cut to prove that than the track Finish What You Started. Everything is so quiet and clean, and even though I've heard Eddie's guitar riff 1,000 times, it was like hearing it again for the first time. It was simply amazing, so nice. And even on much lesser known tracks like Black and Blue, Mikey's bass and Alex's drum, they really drive this song just as much as Eddie's guitar does. Again, Bernie Grundman's mastering really does make this stand out, and those harmonies between Sam and Mike are so freaking amazing. The new Bernie Grundman master on this one will take it with the grade of an A+, and the OG is really nice, just far behind with the grade of a B. So I put them all back in the box, but the new Bernie Grundman master gets the tip of the cap on this one. Like I said, with a grade of an A+, it is stellar. It sounds really great, and the OG not far behind it with a grade of B+. All right, now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this, which is For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge and Balance. That's what we all really were excited to see, because these are, for most of us, owning original pressings of these two records, A, they're extremely hard to find, and B, they get pretty pricey. So with that being said, I listened to the new Bernie Grundman master first and was extremely impressed. Listened to it all the way through. Pound Cake, of course, kicks things off. It's got a nice, well-rounded bottom end without sacrificing any of the high end on Ed's guitar or Sammy's vocals, especially Mike's or Alex's cymbals as well. My only real thought on how it could be better was it could have been cut just a tad bit hotter. Like I said earlier, louder isn't always better. You can turn it up a little bit and you're not getting any overdrive or distortion that unfortunately exists all the way through the original pressing, at least the one that I have. Of course, now that I gave that little bit of tidbit of information away, the rest of this A-B comparison is probably going to be moot, but we're going to move forward here. So the Pound Cake, the OG Master, I feel like the OG, as I mentioned earlier, has far too much overdrive and compression, which creates a little bit of distortion when you're listening to it, especially at a higher volume level. Sure, it's cut nice and loud, but it makes it unenjoyable to listen when compared to side by side with the new Bernie Grumman Master. The new Bernie is really, really pleasant listen. The next track, Judgment Day, on the Bernie Grumman Master, Mikey's bass and Alex's drums are still punchy without coming close. They don't even come close to being overdriven or compressed or distorted. This one sounds amazing. Even Ed's solo sits right in the pocket, and you can even hear Alex's China Boy cymbals in the middle of that solo, and I'd never heard those before. I'll say it again, guys. Sammy's vocals are superb. And they really shine through on this album, especially this track. His screams at the end of this track are just perfect. Sammy's the man. There's no secret that we love Sammy around here, especially. Now let's get to the OG Master of Judgment Day. It's once again loaded with overdrive and nearly pushed to distortion levels. So turn it down then. Why not just turn it down, right? Well, it's just not a pleasurable listening volume. I mean, especially to a half-deaf old man like myself. But this one's not even close. The decision to pick a clear-cut winner, I believe, it's already been determined 2 songs into this album. However, I'm still going to give it a thorough and objective listen because that's what we're here for, right? Getting back to the Bernie Grumman Master, let's jump into the song Right Now. Everybody knows that. And I tried not to only review the big songs that everybody know, but I think that's what you guys want to hear about. The huge song Right Now, nothing any bigger than that. This one really keys in, pun intended, on the keys, on Eddie's keyboards. I feel like when Eddie's guitar comes in, it's EQ'd in a kind of a way that sits a little bit back deep into the mix. Again, I highly doubt this is a remix. I'm not insinuating that whatsoever. But I have heard a couple people hint about it, and we'll see. Look at it. It could come out that it was remixed, but I highly doubt it. Again, Mikey's bass is superb here, and Alex's drumming, believe it or not, in a shocking twist here, Alex's drumming is a standout instrument on this track, at least for me. So tight and in the pocket. His tom fills and cymbal work in the breakdown sections really add to the shine on this one overall. There goes the phone. That's what happens when you're recording live here and at a place of business. The phone starts to ring. Never fails. So now that I've muted the phone, let's get back to where we were. Let's go to the original master of Right Now. Again, here is what we took this off of. This is an original US pressing. Real nice, near mint copy from 1991. So right now on the original, it was nice enough, but I don't think it has quite as much overdrive and distortion as the other tracks do. But it still didn't make my ears happy or smile like the new Bernie Grumman Master did. As a matter of fact, it didn't even come close. So getting back to the Bernie Grumman Master, the song, the track Top of the World. With the opening riffs from Eddie, immediately my ears perked up. Then the drums and bass come in and just freaking pound you right in the jaw. I was like, wow, The lead vocals and the background vocals are extremely precise, and they're EQ'd to perfection here on this one. Everything sits right in the pocket where it's supposed to. The soundstage is so broad on this; it's a really pleasurable listen. Alex's kick leads the way here, and Mikey's bass is low and meaty, just like Concert Buddy likes it. This might have been my favorite track on this new Bernie Grundman master, maybe because it was the last track on the album, but I really think it's just the icing on top of a wonderful listen. It was really, really good. If I did have one small complaint about this pressing, it's that it did have a little bit of surface noise. Again, as I mentioned earlier, these have already been ultrasonically cleaned, but I'm definitely going to give it another ultrasonic clean here again this morning, because it was just absolutely loaded with static. When I originally cracked this thing open from the factory, I could barely pull the freaking albums out of the inner sleeves. They had that much static on them. Again, paper inner sleeves. It's a small complaint, and it really doesn't have anything to do with the mastering, but it did affect the overall listening experience. I'm going to give the mastering job of this new Bernie Grundman For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge an A+. Fantastic job. It's a brilliant listen. I've never heard this album sound so good. Back to the OG master on Top of the World. This might be the best sounding track on this particular version. However, it's still lacking in certain areas. The drums are EQ'd very shrieky, very shrill, high-pitched frequency that just didn't seem normal at all. It makes most of the cymbal crashes clip. And Mikey's bass sounded decent enough, but he and Ed are about the only things that sounded decent here on this particular version. Again, this one wasn't even close. If we're running a 100-meter sprint here, the new Bernie Grundman Master wins by about 6 seconds. I have to give the OG Master a C+. It's almost like they took the original CD mastering and cut it to vinyl without regard or care, which is probably what they likely did. I kind of thought so before I even listened to these, because let's face it, CDs were a thing. They were the thing in the 90s. It was all about the loudness wars of the 90s, and everything was so compressed and squashed and brick-walled and loud and in your face. And it clearly shows here. So, again, we are going to give the winner For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge goes to with a grade of an A+. It's just superb. The new Bernie Grundman remaster versus the C+ grade on the original. All right, last but not least, let's move on to the balance A/B comparison. Again, guys, I'm comparing an original OG from 1995. This is a US near mint copy to the brand new Bernie Grundman remaster from the box set. Again, here I chose to listen to the new Bernie Grundman master first because honestly, I'm already going in believing this is going to be the far superior listen, just based on the care that was put into this version versus what I'm assuming was a shit show of a mastering, cutting, pressing session from the OG in 1995. Let's face it. So the Bernie Grundman master, the first track, The Seventh Seal, was one I almost didn't review. I mean, I listened to everything, but I almost didn't write down a review. I was just going to go through and make notes in my head, but I wanted to get directly to the big hit, Can't Stop Loving You. But I'm glad I didn't, because this particular song, The Seventh Seal, really showcased every instrument here. I mean, seriously, everyone had their place in the soundstage. It was so broad. It was fantastic. Super smooth, super rich low end. The high end instruments and vocals were crisp and clear without being piercing or shrieky or clipping whatsoever. The OG master on Seventh Son, okay, it was cut louder as expected, but I'm not getting quite as much overdrive or distortion as we got with For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. But it's still very punchy. This one's not terrible, but I still think I'm giving the nod to the new Bernie Grundman master, simply because this one, the OG, did have that brick-walled mastering that was, of course, so prevalent during the 90s. Moving on to the next track, which was the big smash, I Can't Stop Loving You. On the new Bernie Grundman master, it's easy to forget how great of a guitar player Eddie was, guys. You know, he's been gone now 3 years. And yes, we all know how great of a player he was, but there were so many magic moments that you hear in this track in particular with this new mastering from Bernie that I found a newfound appreciation for how simplistic some of the things were, but he even made the most simple parts sound freaking amazing. Again, Sammy's vocals are about as perfect as you can get, and I really can't find anything to complain about this track. Everything was exactly as it should be. Great job on this one, and such a great track. Regarding the OG master, I Can't Stop Loving You, this one seems like I'm listening to the CD, if I'm being honest. Everything's just squished and right in your face. It didn't allow the instruments or Sammy's vocals any room to breathe. Everything is just crammed into a little box instead of being spread out across the soundstage, which is kind of disappointing for such a great song. Back to the Bernie Grundman master, the song Take Me Back, Deja Vu. For the first time, and I had to really get in depth on this one, because for the first time we got to hear Eddie playing an acoustic guitar, and it's phenomenal. The EQ is magical, and then of course the electric guitar comes in combined with Mikey's bass and the kick drum, and then that chunky palm mute in the chorus. It's perfect and just highlighted exquisitely here. Sammy's voice sits in the sweet spot here as well. I absolutely love this track. Regarding the OG master of Take Me Back, Deja Vu, I was actually surprised how good this one sounded, especially in the beginning. Not just Eddie's acoustic guitar, but when it's just Eddie and Sam on that first verse, it was beautiful. Then when everything kicks in on the second verse, it took a big dump. The bass and kick drums were distorted, and they really just took all the vibe away and just killed it for me, honestly. Overall, the clear winner is once again the new Bernie Grundman master with a grade of an A+. I thought he did a tremendous job. I know Bernie doesn't care about what little old me thinks about his mastering, but I think you guys probably care about how it stacks up with the original. So that's why we're doing this. But I'm going to give him an A+ grade on this one. The OG balance is not as clearly, it's clearly not as bad as the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge master, but it still wasn't a very close race. I'm going to give the balance OG master, again from 1995 US pressing, I'm going to give that a B- grade, and an A+ grade to the Bernie Grundman. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the comparison of this newly mastered box set versus all the original US pressings. Just to wrap it up, this box set is a must-have for any Van Halen fans or Sammy Hagar fans, regardless of whether you have the OGs or not. You know, I have the OGs, and a lot of my friends have the OGs, but they're still getting the box set, and I would still recommend you get the box set as well. Like I said, the care that went into the new remastering and pressings, aside from the dog shit paper inner sleeves, is stellar. And just to hear For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge and Balance the way they were intended to be heard, it's worth the price of admission alone. Throw in on top the studio rarities and the price. Let's talk about the price. The price is $124.98 MSRP, $125, which is what we sell it for. Yeah, you can probably get it online at Amazon for save $5, for maybe get $119 or $119.97. I think is what they're selling it for. But guys, support your local record stores if you can. If they've got them, go in and buy them. I'm not saying if the guy's out there, you know, raping you for $179, which wouldn't be out of the question for what you're getting here. Warner Brothers could have really charged an extra $50 for this box set, and I don't think too many of us would have batted an eye. I wouldn't have, because you can't buy, you can hardly buy a copy of For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, or you can't even look at a copy of Balance for that. So for what you're getting at $125, it's a great deal. It's one of the best deals out there. So yeah, I think this is going to do extremely well. We have sold a ton of them already on pre-order reserve, and we expect to sell a lot more of them today and this weekend and moving forward into the Christmas holiday. Hopefully they keep these things available and we're able to keep everybody happy, because this Sammy Hagar era Van Halen stuff has been out of print for so long and everybody's been so thirsty for it. I think it's going to do extremely well. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Please turn on your notifications, because we are going to try and make more frequent videos. Leave a comment. I would love to hear from you guys as well. What are your thoughts on having these available? What are your thoughts on the mastering? Maybe you've got differing opinions than I do. I welcome all of that. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time. Until then, take care. Peace.